Hi, team. I'm Fitz Koehler, your very noisy race announcer from the OC Marathon, and welcome to the OC Marathon Show. Super excited to have you here today. We are going to talk about the do's and the don'ts of race day, and we're probably actually going to talk about a few do's and don'ts before race day too. But I've got the best cast tonight, two very hunky, very talented, smart, athletic, funny. I'm building them up. But the greatest guys in the world, at least according to me. So we're going to start with the one and only race director for the OC Marathon, Mr. Gary Kutcher. Welcome to the show, Gary.
Hey, Fitz, how are you doing? We got what's that arm thing?
That's right. Okay, so for anyone who's not watching, the arm thing is the wiggly men in front of the auto dealerships. I love them. So when you're happy, you do the arm thing. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, it's okay. Kind of feel weird.
Thank you for playing along with
Let's
my
get our other guest to do this.
Okay. Yeah, he's really good at the wiggly arms. This is the other half of Team Noisy, Mr. Rudy Novotny. Yay.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, thanks. Nice intro, Fitz. I knew that it was Gary just from the intro as you started reading his. I knew that wasn't going to be me.
It was all I said. They are. But you are good at the wiggly arms. I should have thrown that in there from now on. You're going to be the wiggly arm guy.
I am. I'll do it.
Congratulations.
How's it going, folks?
But Rudy is the other half of Team Noisy. Normally, we announce this race together, but Rudy has other plans this year.
Well, we had two absolutely top-rate clients that we didn't want to disappoint, nor the runners in the races. So we made a real difficult decision, and you're going to be a little south of where I'll be.
That's right. So before we get there, we want to remind everyone that the OC Half Marathon and 5K are taking place this year on November 6th and 7th. The 5K is November 6th in the evening, which is a great time to have this race. All the people
actually at 4:30 p.m.
So great, Gary. I mean, for the people who just can't stand waking up at 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. worse, this is a perfect solution. I love this evening race. It's always an absolute blast. You have the great post-race party. Hey, you have the great start line announcers, but the great post-race party. And then Sunday morning is our half marathon.
Yes, absolutely.
And we still have spots available, right? People can register now.
We do. We have spots available in both. In fact, we have a price increase tonight on the 5K. It's going up midnight tonight. So anybody out there who wants to register for the 5K or who already is a half marathoner who wants to add the 5K and get the combo crush, a really awesome medal this year. So 2 races, 3 medals. It's going to be great. We have an amazing finish line band for the 5K this year. They've been there in the past. And then again on Sunday, our regulars Flashback Heart Attack will be on the main stage, so it's going to be super excited. So
yeah, and they're an 80s cover band, and they're so freaking fun.
Yeah, and the other band is a 90s cover band called Sega Genocide, and they are amazing. They're blowing up here in Southern California. So, they're a great, they've been together for quite a while, but they really are starting to hit their stride right now.
Okay. Well, I'm excited. I don't always get the full dose like our runners do, but you always have the best band. So before we get into our big topic today, race day do's and don'ts, Rudy and I have really fun news we're excited about. And so he mentioned, both the Los Angeles Marathon and OC landed on the same weekend this year, which is painful for a variety of reasons, but particularly to Rudy and I, because we both announce OC and we both announce LA, and we're separating. He's doing LA, I'm doing OC, and so it's been a complete separation until now. Rudy, would you like to share the news for all the Team Noisy fans?
No, I want you to make the big reveal. You do the big reveal.
Okay. All right. And so for those of you who care, I know some of the people are saying, what are they talking about? We have worked it out. So we actually do get to take part in each other's events this year. On November 6th, that morning, we will both be announcing the LA Big 5K over at Dodger Stadium. And then Rudy is going to join me to announce the OC 5K in the evening. So Team Noisy, in the morning and at night. And if you're someone who doesn't do the longer distances and you want to have 2 killer 5Ks that day in sunny Southern California, we sure would love to see you twice and hug you twice and cheer for you twice. That would be a lot of fun.
I appreciate you coming up with that idea, Fitz, because at least it'll allow me to kind of at least dip my toes in the OC weekend, and of course you're always welcome at LA Marathon.
Yeah, super exciting news. So we're going to have to make some sort of Team Noisy award for anyone who does both, don't you think?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I like that. I like that. The I don't know. We'll have to the Noisy Nation.
What are you working on there, Rudy?
What's that now?
What you got going on there, Rudy?
I'm on my phone.
Okay. All right. So
let's get it going.
That's our big news. So we're going to
get
into
don't. We're going to do do's and don'ts, and that was our first don't. How's that?
Exactly.
Right. Tacky Novotny. Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, nothing new about that. Okay.
All right. So Gary, we want to talk about race day do's and don'ts, but before we get there, you have got some do's and don'ts before race day. And I want to encourage everybody to use your comment section, pipe in, feel free to share comments, ask questions, mock us if we have super bad ideas. And we are going to be doing 2 giveaways tonight for registrations to the OC Marathon Weekend 2022, which is super exciting.
Yeah, May 1st, it will be the full and half marathon next year. And then it's one of those weird years that our 5K will actually be taking place in April. So April 30th for the 5K and the kids run, and then May 1st for the bright and early full marathon, which will be back next year, and then the half marathon. So we'll be giving away 2 new registrations for that. Lately in the past, we've been giving away other things because so many people are already registered for this year. So we're going to go ahead and up it up and make it next year. So awesome.
Cool.
I love it. And we got a couple questions. Maria Kutcher, the beautiful and talented Miss Kutcher, sends love. We love you back. More cowbell, Rudy. You've got a request for some more cowbell. On demand. And then Julie Moreno wants to know, are there still VIP spots available, Gary?
There are. We just counted them out today, and there are about 40 spots remaining. So it shouldn't be a problem. And you can do an add-on through your regular register. If you've already registered, you just add that on. There's an add-on link. So you can go right to the add-on link and add that VIP. Okay. And you can also, if you have someone special who drops you off in the morning, and then you get on the bus to go to the start line, they can be a guest of yours. They can sit in the VIP the whole time waiting for you to arrive. They'll probably have 3 or 4 or 5 mimosas before you get there. So it could be really fun for your guests.
It is very fun. It's one of the best VIP tents in the country. So I highly recommend it. All right, Gary, pre-race do's or don'ts. What you got for us?
Well, so a lot of people talk about the do's and don'ts of race day, but I think there's an awful lot of do's, which I guess the other side is a don't, that begins way early. And that truly begins with start your training so that you can be successful on race day. That means if you haven't ran more than 3 miles, maybe biting off the marathon with 2 weeks to go, may be a little bit much. So do your planning so that you are racing the event that you can be successful at. That would be the first one. And then while you're doing that training, this is when you start doing all those things that are so important. And that's hydrating, learning to hydrate and fuel while you're running. It's so important if you're doing a distance that you haven't done before. So you want to start learning how to do the goos or the gels, eat something. Same thing with what you, before you go out for your long run. When you're training for your first marathon or half marathon, you're going to be doing a long run every week that's longer than your previous one. And you'll do a rest every once in a while, you'll drop back. But it's really important to start doing those tester things. If I ate a banana, does it mess up my stomach? If I had a cup of coffee, does it mess me up, or does it help me? All of those things are things that you do in the weeks leading up to event day.
Right. And that actually, I think was 2 weeks ago, we had an expert panel And that video is still available on our OC Facebook and YouTube pages, but certainly I would recommend going back to watch that. We had an incredible nutritionist, Marty Sumball, who talked about pre-race nutrition. And yeah, you got to practice that stuff too. One of my girlfriends tried something, I'm not going to mention what it is because I don't want to deter people from it, on race day. That was new at mile 10 or something. And she ended up spending too much time in the porta potties between that point and the finish line. So you should not put anything new and interesting in your mouth on race day, right?
I completely agree. Rudy, what do you have? Rudy, you've been at a lot of these races. What have you seen out there?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at my list and I just kind of brainstormed it. And so it's kind of all over the place, but I'll go more toward race day. And it's my do is lay out everything you need for race morning, and maybe even create a checklist for yourself and just check that stuff off. You and I know, Gary, that we've had people arrive and it's happened at OC, as a matter of fact, that didn't have their shoes.
Oh yeah.
They had the bag, they tied it all up and everything, throw it over the shoulder, and they don't have their shoes.
And we don't sell any shoes out there at the start line.
We don't, but we make an announcement that this man right here will give.
Does anyone have some extra shoes?
Right. And it's happened. And, somebody ran out back to their car and had a size 12 men's, whatever. So, but make sure that and when I wrote that, I was thinking about running, racing, but also like for triathlon, there's so much gear.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. I mean, you guys started out with the main one is don't do anything. Don't try anything that you haven't already done in a race, scenario or in your training. Nothing.
Yeah,
no shoes, no socks.
That's where I was going to lead with my next one, which is really truly weeks before. The don't put on new shoes for race day or don't try new clothes on race day actually is a do. Try your new shoes back 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before, and
right.
Get them to where those are the shoes you can put on and do 13 miles in without any kind of issues. Same thing with socks. Socks are so important. Yeah. There's a very famous coach named John Wooden, and John Wooden has when he would get his new players to the gym, to the pavilion. One of the funniest things and one of the most serious things was he taught them how to put their socks on. That was these are kids that have played basketball their whole life. They're now a college player, and he's teaching them how to put their socks on. These are super important things. You think about your socks are the difference. I mean, between your skin and your shoe. And if you have a little clump or you have a sock that has a little thick spot down by your toe, that's going to become a blister later on. So that was a John Wooden story, and it's a true thing.
So I have an ad on that. I am training, since I'm announcing yours, I'm training for the Boston Marathon, but I actually have 2 pairs of shoes that I train in, and I'm not overusing either pair of shoes. Right. And then God forbid something happens to one pair of shoes, I have a backup for race day. And so if you're training for distances, half marathon, full marathon, get 2 pairs. You're investing a lot of time in this. And so if something goes wrong, I'm in Florida. There's a good chance I'm going to walk through ankle deep puddles almost any day of the summer. So second pair of shoes. And then this question, Yoga for Runners wants to know, it's Dave K. What is the biggest don't that I've learned in training for Boston that I didn't know and didn't consider beforehand? Interestingly enough, and I am a native Floridian, but I learned not to mess with Mother Nature. I went running in early June on a day it was 85 at 7 a.m. and probably 4 billion% humidity, and I ended up with heat exhaustion. And that was no fun. It was so bad and I was doing a half marathon. So when I got back to mile 10, an actual real alligator on the side of the trail growled at me, and I said, "Eat me." I was ready to just call it a day, call my life a day, and let that alligator have me. So don't mess with Mother Nature. Be prepared for the elements, and perhaps don't even test them if they're severe. So that's what I learned. And I won't make that mistake again.
Well, I know Dave McGilvery. I'm certain that he won't have any alligators out there on the golf course. So you'll be fine.
Yeah. You know what? I'd rather have alligators than 85-degree Florida summer heat, but I won't. I'll be good.
Well, going back, just back a little bit. I know Rudy jumped more to race day, but I think what's also is important for we're talking about weeks before. What do you do 2 days before? What do you do 1 day before you get there? What do you do that night before? And Rudy hit on some of that really important stuff on the night before. But as someone who's done a fair amount of marathons, not like some of these amazing people that we know, but I think you start hydrating a couple days before. You start doing the good carbo loading to get the glycogen stores totally up to your max so you can have the best performance possible. And so those are the things that you do a couple days before. Also, you want to make sure that you don't want to try anything new, but you want to make sure you have that pair of shorts ready to go, or that shirt that you've been planning. And it's all of a sudden you're not frantic that day of looking for the thing that you knew you were planning on wearing. So I think those are important a couple days before.
This is a don't you're going to like, Gary. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I am.
Don't email your race director asking questions that are easily answered by looking at the website. How's that?
True. That's so true. So
what time does a race start? Where's the start line? All of that information is on the website.
Or call the office. Hi, can I speak to the race director the day before, 2 days before? 3 days.
It's amazing. So we get an awful lot of calls. We try manning the phones, and we are really accessible. I'm probably one of the most accessible race directors out there. But yeah, we get an awful lot of questions in a few days before. So Fitz, that was a really good one.
I thought you'd like that. Yeah. Everybody read the website thoroughly before you contact this man and Kelsey, because they've got a lot of work to do. All right. Are we at race day yet? We promised race day.
I think let's do the day before real fast.
Okay.
What do you do the day before, Fitz? Come on, you're coming up. What do you do the day before?
Well, I'm not eating roughage. I'm not eating scary vegetables that may turn my tummy. I'm eating healthy. I'm getting lots of rest. I'm not running. I don't do the shakeout runs. Lots of people like the shakeout runs. I say no, thank you. Resting my body. What do you say about that?
Well, that's all good. I think a short little run is really good the day before. Just do an easy run. Don't go 2 or 3 miles, nice and easy. Keep the legs ready to go, but don't go out there going back a couple weeks real fast. And this is even the day before. Tapering is something. If you've never done a marathon before, you've gotten into the weekly mileage, which depending on how fast you're going or what you're going, it may be 30 or 40 or 70 miles for your big weeks. And then one of the hardest things for you to do is to start tapering. And it sounds easy, like, okay, I'm going to start running less. It's going to be easy. But you've got all this pent up energy. You can't wait for a race. It's so hard to go from a 40 or 50 mile week and then you're back down to a 25 or a 20 and you're like, I feel like I need to run. Well, similarly with that day before, go out there and do a little easy run. You're not going to get your endurance any better, but it's going to go ahead and keep your legs fresh.
Okay.
So, and then since it's the day before, try to get to the expo early. Unless you're going to do a combo crush or something, try to get off of your legs that day. Obviously, you're going to eat something balanced. You're not going to do anything new. You're not going to, go get some curry with it's really spicy. And
yeah, that's right. No Thai vegetables.
You don't want to do that. But that's kind of the day before. So, and then there's a night before. Rudy, what do you do the night before?
Well, I'm gonna piggyback. I'm gonna piggyback on your last day before, a couple days before, and you were talking about hydration, which I agree. Nutrition and hydration. However, on my don'ts, I have do not overhydrate.
Right.
Yeah, Gary, you and I have been running quite a while. Do you remember when super hydration? We've had all these phases.
Yeah.
This is what you got to do. This is what's recommended. And I remember way back super hydration, and I sat on the bus for Big Sur with a gallon water jug, and I think I killed most of it and I thought I was going to die.
Yeah. They didn't even have the word hyponatremia then, and now
exactly.
That didn't exist back then. So.
Right.
Nonetheless, the sloshing in your stomach. You don't want any sort of sloshing.
Yeah. Well, a couple of the ones I was looking at are right up toward race day. One is have a plan, make a plan with the people that might be going to see you there. Or the people that you're running with. OC is a pretty sizable marathon, and if you're going to a biggie, I'll meet you there. You got to have a plan, you got to have a plan. And it's really important. And then also have a race plan. Now, I know, that not everybody that shows up is an elite or, a competitive runner, but just have your own race plan together. I know Fitz is already talking. She's already going through ideas, and this is what I'd like to do. And what I'd also like to hear from her is you got to have a plan B. You got to have a plan B, because we train and we plan, and then, whatever happens. Sometimes everything falls in place, and sometimes not so much. Yeah. So, again, plan's really important. Where are you going to meet everybody? That's and the friends and family that's coming to see you, as well as the people you're running with, if you're running with a group or something like that, and then have a race plan. It doesn't have to be really complex, but have an idea of what you'd like to do and what you'll do if you're ahead or you're behind that plan.
I love it. And a couple of things, because I've got some comments here, and I want to start with the fact that do not plan to have your family meet you on the course at the finish line. Only registered runners are allowed on our course. It's if someone penetrates the course without a bib, without being registered, they are stealing, and we don't like that. And I do not give warm welcomes to people that are bandits of our race. So your babies, your grandpas, your boyfriends, your grandmas, nobody should come inside the finish line chute cross with you. It's dangerous. It puts us as a liability, and very disrespectful to all of the runners who've earned that opportunity to cross the finish line. I think nothing's worse than coming for your big finish line photo at the finish line, and then there's some dude with a backpack and his sandals and a baby. Just no, you tell your family to learn to be good supporters from the sidelines, and then they can have their own moment someday when they register for a race.
Yeah, this is part of my it's not a do's and a don'ts, it's an absolutely no-nos, and that is, there are a lot of people who have a friend jump in with them at mile 10 or 11 or 12 and finish the race with them. And there are those who, for whatever reason, just decided, hey, this is a great time to go ahead and run this race that the course is closed. I've sat on the finish line more than a few times. When Rudy, can you tell me what you say when someone's coming down the finish line? I know what I've heard you say. Well, some of it I can't even say right now, but
as Fitz is cracking up inside, because I am a bandit sniper. It's just not okay. It's not okay. There's no excuse. And some of the other ones we've had recently, Gary, are support from the running club, other members of the running club. We had them at OC, a couple years ago. And it's like, no, it's just not okay. No. It's not okay for many, many, many reasons. Don't give me this, we're running on public property. The course has been closed. It's been secured and permitted to be closed. But what Fitz loves about bandits is looking at me and seeing how I respond.
Okay. So I'm the one who's a little bit aggressive on the microphone, like, you get off the course type thing. But when I tell Rudy about a bandit, when I point one out, he assumes this position and he leans forward and then he tucks his hands back when he stomps off to go get the people. It's fantastic. And they're not getting medals and they're not getting this. And he will have a word with you. So just don't do it. It's very funny.
He says, "Do not cross my finish line."
Right, exactly. That's our finish line. That's right. There we go.
Okay. And then we have a great comment by Shelly Merrill. Hi, Shelly. She says, don't post a picture of your bib on the internet, which is in the same vein that people actually will take your picture holding your bib. They will zoom in and they will duplicate your bib and they will bandit the race. So please don't do that.
That is a great suggestion, Shelly. Thank you so much for that, because we forget about that. But with printers the way they are now, it's so common, and they're good. They'll get away with it most of the time. We do have, Derek is somebody who will look at bibs and find some people who have duplicated bibs, and they've been kicked out of big races forever. But it's deeper than that. With every single bib number, we have a name and an emergency contact and all the other aspects with that. And when someone has a bib that's someone else's, it can be a safety issue, number one. And then something that's less important but still problematic is it can really mess up our rewards. If you take a picture of a bib and you are a fast runner, or you can really affect the age group awards and other things as well. But mostly it's stealing, number one. Right. So it's stealing. But then there's safety issues and so many other ones. So Shelly, it's a great comment.
Yeah, and those age group awards, especially, it's stealing special moments from people. It's their opportunity to, stand on the podium, maybe for the first time, maybe for the last time. So we've beaten that horse to death. But that's
all right. Well, let's go back to the night before or the day of. What do you think of that, Fitz?
I think it's a great choice. And Mary Cruz wants to know when she'll get her bib. And so the do is show up at our expo. That's where you pick up your bib.
Yeah, so there's a couple parts to her question. We do have virtual runners right now who are getting they've registered to do virtual this year, and we are waiting to send their packets out to them until they submit their results. In that swag bag we send out, it does have their bib for this year in it. There have been a few people who have requested it early. We will send out your swag bag beforehand. So if you wanted to have your bib and have your medal waiting for you, or run in your shirt, any virtual runners that are out there can email us and we'll take care of getting that to you before. But to Fitz's point, absolutely. Starting at 4:00 on Friday, our expo opens, and get there and get your bib and your packet and all the other goodies, and go through and see a bunch of our amazing vendors and make a day of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. All right, so I'm going to start with race day. And I think the first thing I want people to know is your race bib. You should have your safety pins for it. So they will pick them up at the expo, but maybe bring some extra safety pins, or bib magnets, or bib boards, little pins that go in your or the bib boards go in your shirt to prevent it from having holes. But your race bib goes on the front side of you, not the back and not the side. If you put your race bib on your back, our course officials may not know you belong there, may give you a hard time. And more vanity driven type use is that we have photographers out on the course taking your photos. And the way we categorize photography is by bib number. If they take a picture of your front and your bib is on the back, you'll never ever see any of your pictures. So
absolutely. I was going to mention that also. We'd love to have you get your pictures, smile big when you see the cameras out there. But I think we got to go back just a little bit.
Okay.
You got to set your alarm or alarms that night. It's so important. And I like to put my bib on my shirt the night before. That makes sure I have those pins at that time. We do have boxes of pins at the start line. So if you happen to get there, you can go over to Solutions Tent and get those there. But I like having that done the night before. But set those alarms. Interesting thing this year, time change happens at 2:00 in the morning. So the good thing is that happens for you up there in LA too, Rudy.
Yeah.
So,
but no, I thought it was just Orange County.
But the good thing is that we're falling back. So the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to be out there an hour early.
Oh, that's great news.
Right.
Extra sleep.
An extra hour of sleep.
I'll take it.
So,
high five.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. I set multiple alarms. So if I'm waking up
too.
at 4, it's 4 o'clock, goes off at 4:01, 4:02, and I set it for my iPad and my iPhone. And sometimes I call the hotel lady and have her give me a call too, because things will go awry if I don't show up, right?
Well, our race starts at 6. Our buses start running at 3:45. So you're setting your alarm for 2 or 2:30. Yeah. So, you need to get a good night's sleep the night before, and try to take a book or something to help you go to sleep, because you'll be anxious. It's so hard to go to sleep the night before. So
I feel like you're telling me I'll be anxious.
I'm just talking to you, Fitz.
I'm not going to be anxious. I'm going to be excited. Hey, and that's the other thing is nerves are unnecessary. This is all about fun, athletic adventure. You're not being, forced in front of a judge at a courthouse. This is all about happy, joy, and healthy. So any butterflies you have, make them excitement as opposed to anxiety.
That's true. That's true.
Great time.
So the morning of the event, you already kind of hit on some of that, but you got to go ahead and do a little bit of fueling. And we had a good question 2 weeks ago with our nutritionist, and we had a lot of questions. And I think the overall winner of what that best breakfast was, I think, was a bagel, toasted bagel or something. It's a great carbohydrate that burns slowly, and I think that's great for people and doesn't upset stomachs. And
and mixed with protein too. So cream cheese, peanut butter, almond butter, whatever you like. But I'm a bagel and protein.
And give yourself plenty of time when you finally start making your way there. If you're driving yourself to any start line anywhere, not just the OC. Imagine this is an area that now has roads closed, and a whole lot of people trying to get to one spot. So whether you're going to Boston or whether you'll be on a bus heading out there, but wherever you're doing your race, make sure that you know what the route's going to be, what roads may be closed. Give yourself some time, and then time to park also. I think that's so important.
You just hit a big one, okay? And this, I've gone into some of the minutiae here. Make a note, put it on your phone, whatever you need to do, of where you parked your car.
Oh, yeah.
A little known fact is, for 3 years, I was in charge of parking for Rock and Roll San Diego at the harbor. Just a bazillion cars. And people come in at, 3 a.m, throw the door closed, lock it, and go. And so at the end of the day, we had hundreds of people coming, and they were pissed off. Where's my car? Hey, dude, where's my car? I mean, it sounds silly, but make a note of that, because there's a lot of people coming here.
Oh, that's so true. When you get to our start line, it's dark. You're not going to see any a palm tree is a palm tree, and there's an awful lot of them. And so you need to kind of make some notes, take a couple pictures of where you are if you can. And that's a great one. So
on that note, I encourage people to keep note that unless something freakish happens, we do start on time. And so I always find it amazing when we've got 15,000 people who show up, and the race is going to start at 6, and we all go, and all the 15,000 people go. And then 7 minutes later, someone shows up ready to run. Like, where were they? What was going on in their life? So we start on time, get your booty there, and not only get there on time, but get there early, because we have so much fun. And if you put it in this perspective, the start line is the only time in an entire race weekend where 100% of us are together. You'll never have that at the finish line, at the expo, at any other point. And so the start line is, for me, the most fun, chaotic, ruckus. It's where people let their guard down and have, feel comfortable being silly and loud. So don't miss that part of the event, because it really is a special part of the event.
I mean, the announcers are fun, right? And
They
they
should
make
be.
it fun. And I think that something else you got to do when you get to the start line. You've just remember 2 days ago we started hydrating. We've been hydrating on Friday. We've been hydrating on Saturday. The other side of hydrating is you may have to dehydrate, and you need to know where those restrooms are. We have 140 porta potties, I think, at the start, maybe more than that. And they get long lines too. So you have to plan for that. And then going back to one of the earliest questions is we do have some VIP spots, and the VIP runners get their own little area, their own really nice VIP bathrooms and lights and mirrors and all kinds of pretty in there. So we don't put flowers in there, but it's still pretty nice.
Well, I always advertise once they line up that we do have the finest porta potties in the land with free Wi-Fi and so forth. So free Wi-Fi in our porta potty. So yeah, show up. And then at the OC, we do bag check for the longer distance races. So you can put your stuff in a clear bag and drop it on the UPS trucks. Will we have UPS there?
Absolutely. And that brings up a great point. So we're going to be November this year. Last year, November, thank you for the tip there. Last year, it was that weekend. That was our rescheduled weekend that didn't happen. Happened to be the first rain weekend of Southern California. And so what's very common for those who are brand new to this is grab one of those old sweatshirts that you don't ever expect to wear again, or a couple of them if it's a chilly morning, and go ahead and discard that right at the before the start line, over the fence, not at your feet. But to Fitz's point, yes, we have UPS personal item storage. They are fantastic. If you know what you want to wear after the race, when you finish the race, you're going to be totally comfortable or warm. But within just a little while after your sweat you're going to start cooling down quickly. And to have something to put on is really nice. And so you can put that in that clear bag that you receive your bib and your swag at the expo. Use that bag. On your bib, there will be a tear-off tag that will match up with the bib number. You put that on that bag also. Give it to UPS, and magically it will be there at the finish line waiting for you. Go back and get it, and your stuff will be in there. I don't suggest putting phones in or car keys.
Nope.
I don't suggest that. There's other ways to deal with those things. But every year we get we find some of those things. Bring your ID. We do have adult beverages after the race, and they do check IDs. So make sure you bring your ID with you. It's really important to enjoy one of those free beers, or if you're a legacy or VIP, you get a few. So you just make sure that you have your ID.
Shelly's adorable. Shelly Merrill is like the mom in the group. She says, always good to carry some wipes.
Good.
When you go to the porta potty, run out of toilet paper. Yeah, there's porta potty drama. And magic soap. I'm going to pack it all.
Great.
All right. So we're at the start line. A don't for me is don't isolate yourself. Don't be stuffy. Know that even if you showed up alone, you are no longer alone. You are part of our OC family. You are part of Team OC. And it's one of the best places to introduce yourself to the other athletes. Runners like other runners. We're so friendly and social. So, step outside your comfort zone a little bit and be social at the start line. It's designed for fun and friendship.
I completely agree. That was one of my main ones also. You have so many friends there now. They're going through the same things that you are. They are excited. In many cases, they've ran one or two. They'll give you some hints. And something else while you're at the start line, if you're wanting to run a particular time, look for those pacers. We have the Snail's Pace group. The pacers will carry these big signs, and on it will say 2 hours. 2 hours and 5 minutes, 2 hours and 10 minutes. They may say an hour and 30, and that's for your half marathon. And so you find the time that you want to try to finish, and they're amazing. It's crazy how close they are. You'll come in a few seconds to spare. It makes your day. You're also a lot of those people become friends for long periods of time. When someone has taken them through their first race and they finished and met a goal that they didn't think was possible, they exchange numbers and become friends. So it's a great opportunity that we'll have out there also.
You know what's interesting? I was talking with a pacer. I can't remember what race he was a pacer for, but he ended up having a famous guitarist from a big band. Wasn't U2, but it was something in the same vein. And now he and that guitarist are BFFs, and they do
really
stuff together. Yeah. Very interesting. So yeah, maybe your pacer will be someone interesting, or you can be the interesting friend, but you don't need to register to join a pacer. You don't need to pay for it. You just walk up and say, "Hi, I'd like to run at 225." And if you've prepared for that, they will get you there. Oh, and so here's another do at the start line is do be fun with me. I'm going to be working very hard to make happy noise and make sure you guys have a good time. So if I ask you to shake your booty, do it. If I ask you to put your hands up in the air, do it. But we have a ruckus crowd, don't we?
We do. It's a lot of fun, and we're going to have even more fun this year. So
yeah, I'm expecting everybody to be completely delightful.
So I have a couple do's and don'ts while you're at the start line and right when that race is beginning. And probably one of them is don't crowd your way to the start. Don't try to be out there in the front unless you're one of those fast runners. It's so important. So if you're brand new to this, now there's probably very few brand new people watching right now, but if you're brand new to this, everyone has a chip on the back of their bib, and that chip is going to read your bib number the minute you cross that start line. Regardless, if you're in wave 10 and you start a half hour later, it's fine. You're still going to get a chip time that counts your time from the start line to the finish line. So don't rush out there in front. And then what goes along with that is that when you do start, there is a lot of excitement. Try to remember that if you go out too fast, and the excitement will carry you faster than you ever thought, and you look at your watch at mile 1 and you realize, I've never ran that fast before. That's probably not good. So try to hold back. Obviously, getting with those pacers, they know that. They're going to take you out exactly the way you should go out. So
that's a great point, Gary, because once it's out, once all that energy is out, you can't get it back.
It's true.
And again, you and I have been racing long enough to know there's been the psychology of, I'm going to put a little time in the bank. I'm going to run those first few miles 10, 15 seconds faster than my target time median, and that'll give me a cushion. Doesn't work like that. Go out even and give yourself the possibility of maybe even running a negative split. It's so much more comfortable. And a negative split, of course, being running essentially the second half of the race faster than the first because you held back a little bit.
Great advice. Great advice. And on that start line, don't feel jilted if you're in wave F or G, meaning you might not be first to start. We put the speedsters up in front for a reason. That's so when I yell go, they take off. If there's a slow person in front of all the fast people might eat your brains and knock you down. So we try to group people together by speed. The fastest people go off first, and then slightly less fast go off, and then everybody's moving at a comfortable pace. Nobody's getting stuck or trampled.
It's a wonderful service to the middle and the back of the pack. We just get all those people out of your way.
That's right. That's right. And I am a proud middle of the packer, and I'd be a proud back. I'm going to be a boss, and I'm probably going to be a back of the packer there. And I say yay to that because there's always the party in the back, right?
That is. That's where the party is.
Yep, for sure. Okay, so I'm going to yell go, and what we don't want everybody to do is look down on their watch. Click it, but we want smiles. We're taking your pictures again as the start line. Don't have this start line photo. Look up.
Okay, but wait a minute. Even more importantly, the finish line. I know you got your watch going and everything. We got your time. I don't know about Gary, but I got to admit, I've got about a dozen pictures of me like this.
The worst. What a waste.
At the finish line, great shot, Rudy. Love that smile.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the awful. You got to be upright, eyes forward at the start, and obviously big celebration at the finish line. But we'll get there when we get to the finish line. So anything else we need at the start line, or can we move to the course?
We can move to the course and how we take off after that. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So after they're going, what's our next do and don't while they're actually running their race?
Well, we talked about the pace just a little bit. So we know that we're going to be holding ourselves back just a little bit. We'd like to have some in the tank instead of having some in the bank. And so I think what's really important, it depends on the weather. You may be really inclined to get that water at the very first water station. It may be a little bit warm. It may be a little bit dry. And that makes it easy to grab that water, but it's even more important if it's overcast. It may be cool. We've had more issues and problems with people and even transports on cool days. Wow. Because people don't tend to hydrate as well. So make sure our first water station's at mile 2. We give you we do have porta potties at mile 1. That's something else that, once you take off, there'll be porta potties at every water station. But when you get to mile 2 water station, grab yourself a cup of water and keep going. Always thank the volunteers. They love it. They've been out there for probably 2 or depending on the water station, they've been out there for as many as 6 hours, 7 hours on our marathons. So make sure you thank those water station volunteers, smile at them. And I think smiling and having fun out there is probably one of the easiest ways to make your day go well. It is, when I think about Boston, when I ran Boston, what I remember most about Boston is high-fiving little kids and how I remember how amazing that felt and the smile that they put on my face and how it made the race seem easy. So I think having joy out there is really important.
Yeah. And the reality is racing, these distances can be hard, but you could go do 13.1 miles on your treadmill around your block. You don't show up at the OC Marathon to be a stick in the mud. Just figure it out. Try to enjoy the process. It'll be a lot more rewarding at that point. And Gail had a great comment that I think is always important to reference, that we love our runners, we love our walkers. I particularly love the run walkers because I am one. But if you are going to go from running to walking, it's important to let the people know behind you that that's going to happen. It's much like driving a vehicle. You don't slam on the brakes in the middle of the highway. So if you're going to slow down, hand up in the air, that's kind of your signal for I'm about to slow down. And ideally you'll get to the right side. And so people can pass on the left. I think that's a very important runner courtesy that a new runner just may not know. So also try not to get cranky with people if they don't have that protocol. And then don't walk or run in groups of 4 to 8 across and make it impossible for people to pass you. Line up behind each other if you're traveling in a group.
Yeah, I have a whole list of runner etiquette, and I think that's really important.
Yeah.
We think about the do's and don'ts. We don't necessarily think about once we're out there and we're just visiting with us, and that's a great one. We do have a couple places on the course that is narrow, and if you're 4 abreast, it makes it really difficult for people to go by. But when you are faster than some, don't be cutting in front of people abruptly. There's a lot of things. All of a sudden you get a stitch in your side or your knee hurts. Make sure you make your way over to the side, left or right, and don't stop midstream and someone fall over the top of you. So those are great ones.
Absolutely.
One of the areas that applies most to is a don't and a do is don't stop at a water station. Don't stop. They'll help you out there. Get your water, whatever is going to be available, and keep moving.
Yeah.
And then you'll find litter boxes. You'll find garbage cans past the water station, and please get rid of your cup that way. I'm correct on the water station setup, right, Gary?
Yes. We were considering other things because of what we might be required with COVID. We think we're going to be able to have water stations pretty much normal. Okay. And that is it. Something else that is part of that littering If you're going to be doing on-course gels or anything else that you bring with you, make sure that you take it with you. If you're going to have a gel, don't be dropping the little pieces on the ground. Put it in your pocket, or wait till you come through a water station and put it in one of the trash receptacles there. We go back and clean up the course, but it's no fun picking up a lot of gel pouches and other things on the course.
Yeah, the basics. The basics. Dee Marie had a great suggestion. Don't stop on the course to take selfies. Again, pull off. We want you to do that. And in fact, we are going to have some great selfie stations, some activations along the course of the half marathon this year. Just move over to the side. If you're going to pause and take pictures or get funky, that's great. Just move over to the side and don't get in the way of other athletes.
Yeah, that's a great one. There's some very pretty areas out there on the course, and Dan, that's a good one. Anyway, there's some pretty areas out there, and so you will be inclined to go, oh, I just want to get a picture here. Yeah, make sure you know where you are. Make sure you step off the course onto the sidewalk or something and take the picture, but you don't want to stop on the course for that.
Yeah, and you do have a beautiful course with lots of ocean views, so plan to enjoy it, but pausing should be done on the side. What else do we have on the course?
Well, one of the things you mentioned in a little bit, but we do have official photographers out there, and no one wants to get their pictures back and they're, dig deep and find that smile right as you see the photographer, and go through and be happy, because you're going to love your pictures afterwards. Comparative, we've all gotten those pictures and we're like, I didn't even see that photographer there. You're just looking miserable. So when you see them, go ahead and show off for them.
That's right. Ham it up. I always say, even if you're walking real slow, when you see the photographer, bend the elbows, lift those knees, look like you're winning the race. This would be your social media profile picture for the next year. So get it done.
Because only you know that you feel like you're going to die at that
exactly. Couple other things. If you're wearing earbuds, maybe wear one instead of two. Make sure you can hear people on the course. There are sometimes you have someone who's asking you to get over or do something, and I think that's really important. You've mentioned already, but make sure you put your bib on the front of your shirt, not the back. But even more important, I can't tell you how many times we have guys put their bib on their front of their shirt, and then it's warm and they take their shirt off, and then we think they're a bandit. So Rudy's out there going crazy. He's it's like, no, they pulls his shirt around, shows their bib. It's kind of hard for us.
Yeah, simple stuff. So I think we've hit almost everything on the course. Now we're going to my other favorite part of the race, which is the finish line. And we touched on this, but I think most importantly this is the accumulation of all your efforts. This is time to actually celebrate. So take out your earbuds before you come down the finish line. That's the parade. That's what you're there for. That's the grand finale. So unplug. We have some killer music playing. I will be saying very nice things to you. I may even be saying your specific name, where you're from, referencing your great outfit. There's all sorts of niceties that come out of this big noisy mouth of mine. So take the earbuds out, be present. And then when you get to finish line, don't look down at your watch. You got the big V, you got the number 1 finger. You could put 2. We like cartwheels. We like dancing, shouting with glee. There's so many options there, but we demand a celebration, or I make you go back to the start and do it again.
Yeah.
Right? And isn't that within my privileges?
Yeah, listen, that's part of the contract. You wrote it in there, but yeah.
Thank you.
I like Dan Crowther's comment. Support each other out there. I know we're at the finish line, but just support each other out there. You might see somebody struggling, give them a high five, tell them, just talk, just be out there and just be an encouraging voice. I know I've been the recipient many times of that. And I've also, given it out a bunch, and there's nothing like getting that positive comment.
So I have a question for you. Gary. It's from Clint Sherberth, who's running his very first half marathon. And I remember him from a couple of weeks ago, but he wants to know, what kind of body armor will there be? Is that our course hydration this year?
No, we don't have body armor this year. And that is still something. I talked to a new company today. We are evaluating what's going to be the easiest for us this year right now with, and I don't have a final answer on that. It may just be Gatorade out there, okay, which everyone knows and a lot of people work with. But I did talk to a new company today, and I don't want to say anything about who they are yet, but as soon as I know something, we're going to be letting you know and giving you a chance to do a little training with it also, so that you can try it. And that is an important one. I wish I had an answer on that already.
Yeah. We'll have something, some
Yes.
sort of electrolyte beverage and
Absolutely.
Water.
Yeah.
For sure. What else? Oh, and then once you cross that finish line, you'll get your medal. We'll have a volunteer there to give you a medal. If you want, they can put it over your neck. But it's important to keep moving, especially at the beginning and middle of the race where
no selfies right there. No selfies in the finish line. We have photographers. We try to discourage that at all costs. But keep moving. Get your water. Keep moving. We'll have Trumu there. We'll have other things as well. We have Power Crunch, and we'll have bananas, and we'll have other goodies out there, Dole fruit cups and more. So just keep on moving, gather your items, and then what do we have at our finish line else, Fitz? What are they going to then get?
We have the big party.
We have the Ultimate Finish Line Festival.
Yeah.
So it's flashback on the stage, and it is a lot of fun. So stick around for the party. We have official merchandise that if there was anything left, there'll be a great pricing on that. We have a lot of great vendors that will be out there that may have been there either during the weekend or they're brand new just for that day. So go visit the vendors, and we have Massage Envy. We're still working with them to find out. The COVID stuff is a little bit, whether we're able to do our massages like we normally do. I don't want to say that that's a given or not, but yeah, we're working on all of those things still.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Rudy and I don't normally get to take part in the festival because we're working the finish line until the last finisher, but on occasion we'll walk somewhere or do awards. And it's incredible to see the sea of athletes that have chosen to stay. They're dancing, they're drinking. Some of them are just loitering on, the grass, hanging out. So build it into your schedule, finish the race, and then you've got another hour, 2 hours to just relax and enjoy the atmosphere. It's a good time.
Yeah, I mean, have your family meet you there. You can enjoy all day long. We really had big plans for 2020, and we hope to bring all that back for 2022. But there's a lot of fun stuff to do, including the band and other activities. So enjoy it.
Yeah, and the other option, if once you finish the race, is to come back to the finish line chute and on the outside and celebrate the athletes coming in. And here's the deal: our speedsters are to be respected. It's magnificent to see what they can accomplish in such a short amount of time. But I think things get really good once the back of the packers start showing up. Those are the life-changing moments at the finish line. We have folks that are 400 pounds or 90 years old or have 0 legs, yet they're doing a race, 5K, half marathon. It doesn't matter. We have life-changing moments that if you are fortunate enough to stick around and witness them, they will change your life as well. It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, we have first responders that come through. We have a lot of veterans that come through. Fitz, you have a warm spot in your heart for some of our soldiers in uniform.
Yep.
We have proposals.
Oh, we have proposals. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have a wonderful time. So it's an incredible day. And then after, what we want you to definitely do is upload all your photos to social media using the hashtag OC Marathon. Yes, it's a half. Yes, it's a 5K. Just use our hashtag OC Marathon. That's the easiest, most efficient way to do it, because we like to reshare your photos. And when you search that hashtag on social media, basically what we've created is a family photo album for everyone who's participated in our event. and we could go and look at everyone's pictures, and you can look at everybody's pictures. So share. Take video, take pictures, and tag us all.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And so that's all a lot of good stuff there. I do want to just throw one more important don't in here, and Rudy will be all over this. Don't trade your bib with someone, share your bib with someone. I can't run the race, so I'm just going to give it to my neighbor or whatever. That is really one of the no-nos. And I hate to end on, we don't have to end, but you know what I mean? That's such an important thing because we have emergency contact information on everyone's bib. And so we don't want any of that happening. So
how about this, Gary? How about we end this show doing 2 great giveaways?
Let's do it.
And for those who don't know what that is the Wiggly Man in front of the auto dealership.
You had to be at the beginning.
That's right. Okay. So question number 1, and this will be for a race entry for one single race for OC Marathon Weekend 2022. Who was the original race announcer for the OC Marathon? And you use the comment section to answer this. And so first person to comment correctly will get one of our registrations for 2022. Who was the original race announcer for the OC Marathon Weekend? Nobody knows. You should sing a song, Rudy, while we wait.
I'm not going to sing anything. I like all these people too much.
Carrie? Oh, nailed it. Nailed it from the get-go. Carolina Larson. Rudy.
Carolina, congratulations.
Aw, but
Rudy has been the voice of the OC Marathon for every single year. And then we added someone. What year was that, Fitz?
I came in on 2014, and this was the very first race I ever announced with the OC
That's
Marathon.
right.
The OC was her very first race ever, and now she's doing them all over the place. And this is going to be the first year that Rudy won't be there on our Sunday. So at least he'll be there on Saturday night, and we'll be able to say that you haven't missed a year. So
yeah, I want to protect my legacy status.
Absolutely.
You've got it. I'm going to do my best to fill your big noisy shoes, Rudy.
So Carolina, just email info@OC Marathon and let us know. It's to say, Kelsey, I'm the winner of the announcer question.
Okay, and then we have another question. This one's a little more well, I guess it's not intricate. Are you ready for it? Gary, Rudy, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. How many cities does the OC Marathon run through?
The full marathon.
The full marathon. How many cities?
Come on, Rudy, sing.
Sing, Rudy.
I'll do the dance, though.
Wait, no. All right. So our first answer once again was the right. And this is Clint, who is doing his first race with us this year.
Awesome.
So he's definitely at least going to be doing another race in 2022. Gary, what are the cities the OC Marathon runs through?
It starts in Newport Beach. It then goes in a little bit of Costa Mesa, but then into Irvine, into Santa Ana, and then it comes back to Costa Mesa.
4 cities.
So 4 cities.
And we once had 4 mayor type people take part in our event.
We had a mayor's challenge. So we had all 4 of them do the half marathon.
It was really cool. We had one that bailed. I had one chick. She showed up. She showed face and then she left. But it was a pretty cool challenge. All right, Clint. So now you have a healthy new addiction. This is not a one and done experience for you. Clint, you're going to be in for 2 years in a row now. And I'm expect you to introduce yourself to me and get yourself a noisy hug during race weekend. I'm very excited. He's been a great new athlete because he keeps participating in our live streams.
Yeah, Clint, great to have you. Look forward to meeting you this year, and we'll have you out there next year as well. So that's all good stuff. I think this was a really good one. I think the most important do right now is to tell all of your friends and family, if you're doing this one, to still register. register tonight to save some money on the 5K.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we will have a price increase on the half here in a couple weeks. But share that with everyone you know. That's a good do.
I'm going to throw them a bone. If you guys want to follow me right here on Instagram and send me a message, I will share a discount code with you.
Oh, there she goes. There she goes, spending our money, Gary.
It's unbelievable.
I'm the people's announcer. Come on, I got to take care of the people. But yeah, register ASAP, but I'll hook you up and your friends up with a great discount code. But we want to see you there. I do sweaty hugs, so do hug your noisy announcer or she'll be sad, right?
Well, I think this is really good stuff here. This is one of these shows that's going to live in infamy. This is going to be useful for years. We should have charged for this.
Hey, well, Gary, are you going to be posting the race etiquette? Because I know you've had some really good stuff on that.
Yeah, we're gonna create a link to a couple pages of really good things here, and then some more that you guys have even talked about. So I think these are all important things, whether you're running the OC here in 2 months or traveling around the country to do your race. These are all important. And if you're staying in a hotel, a lot of this stuff's even more important. So, it's getting out there and giving yourself time and not adding any extra stress is so important. So absolutely.
Well, thank you both for being on the show. This was really enjoyable. Thanks to all of our athletes, our viewers who participated. We love you guys. We miss being with you. So just these interactions mean a lot to us too. We love seeing your names pop up, and we're so excited to see each of you. Linda, DeMarie, Clint, Dan, Beth, Julie, Jean, Dave, Philip, Mary Cruz, we're excited to see you. So bring your friends, and I'm going to kick you guys off the show. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
One final time.
Hey, we'll see you guys. All right. Have a great evening, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
All right. We'll see you. Thank you.